friends, welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be the beginning of a series I am so excited about. It's going to be a monthly reset series. I'm going to start off with a February reset, but before we get going, I have to tell you I am very congested, as you can probably hear, so I'm sipping some electrolytes. I had some Sudafed earlier, and we are just gonna make it through because I really don't want to get sick. So here we go. If you're new here, my name is Emily. I am a Christian and I just got married to my wonderful husband, Justin, on New Year's Eve. And I just make lifestyle content about my faith, about home organization, dating, relationships, just kind of general lifestyle type stuff. And I wanted to get started on a series talking more specifically about how I organize my life and just kind of reset for the week, month, the year, and then reflecting more on what my channel is about and the direction of it. I wanting my videos to have more of a focus on living intentionally. And I feel like that can be kind of a buzzword and has been for a while, of intentional living, being authentic, intentional, whatever. But intentionality to me really means values-based living and taking what your core values are, which for me are based on my faith, making sure that the areas of your life actually line up to reflect those values in the way that you live your day-to-day life, your week-to-week life, your moment-by-moment life. That is such a work in progress for most people, myself included. It's hard to actually practically figure out how to live a life that is in line with your values and what you care about the most. And I am just trying to do that the best I can as a 27-year-old newly wed person. I am also in grad school. I am finishing up my degree to become a women's health nurse practitioner, and so I'm in a very transitional phase right now of being newly married, of figuring out my career and where we want to live, and just our future plans, kids, all the things. And so we definitely are just trying to take this new season as an opportunity to figure out what our routines are, what our rhythms are, what our values are as a married couple, and how that can be reflected in our life. So I hope that this monthly reset video and the ones to come are just an encouragement to you that there is a way to do this. What works for me and for my husband might not work for you, but hopefully you get something out of this and leave encouraged and inspired. So I wanted to start out this video by just kind of recapping on January, like what even happened in January. So for us, we got married on New Year's Eve, and then we spent the next 2 nights at a really nice hotel in Raleigh, because we live in Durham, so Raleigh-Durham area, and we literally just vegged out. We spent those first 2 days sleeping a lot, eating, relaxing, honeymoon things, if you will. And then we flew out on January 2nd to Antigua in the Caribbean, and then we stayed there until January 10th. Turned our phones off for those full 8 days. It was honestly amazing. I feel like January felt like the longest month ever. I don't know if anyone else felt like that. It felt like a year, but I think part of that for us was because we did have our phones off that week or so, and so it was just like we were in this black hole of relaxation. Maybe black hole is a little too extreme to say. In this time warp pause on reality where we were just being served and we were in paradise, and it wasn't all perfect because my funny story of the month is actually that I got incredibly constipated on our honeymoon, which we'll probably talk about whenever we do our recap of wedding and honeymoon video to come later. But that was my funny story because I was so stopped up from stress and probably not eating or drinking well for a while before the wedding that I had some major GI issues on our honeymoon. So that was kind of funny. Sweet boy had to go get me laxatives from this random pharmacy in Antigua. Came back on January 10th, and then we just took the next, I think it was 5 days to unpack, do laundry, clean, organize, move all his stuff over. We still overlapped with his old apartment lease for a bit, so we had old stuff from his apartment to move over. We had so much to unpack from the wedding because we hadn't fully moved him in just because we ran out of time right before the wedding. So it was a pretty overwhelming 5 days, I'll say. It was like very weird going from paradise to just this apartment full of stuff and trying to figure out how to live together in a place that's been mine for over 3 years. So that was hard, but then we spent the next, I guess, 2 or so weeks, like 2.5 weeks was the rest of January, of just getting back into work for him and into class and clinical and just figuring out what our rhythm is, figuring out our morning routine, evening routine, just like weekly rhythms, all of that, how to grocery shop and budget together and just like actually practically combine lives, not being on vacation. So I feel like my favorite memory of the month was, oh gosh, the honeymoon. It was just really sweet. We had so many fun moments. One moment where we were waiting for our dinner reservation, it was like middle of the honeymoon, I think, and they had these little swings around one of the resort bars right by the main eating area, and there are these swings that just are on the patio and we're overlooking the ocean, and we had some cocktails and we were just sitting there like dreaming about our future and about our future family, and it was just such a wholesome, sweet evening. I think that was definitely my favorite moment of January. Favorite photo from January, and you would think it would be a cute photo of me and Justin, person. But no, you guys, my favorite photo I took on the entire honeymoon and probably all of January was this really crazy photo of this stray cat that lived on the property of the resort. I'll insert it right here. His name is Cheez-It, okay? We had all these stray cats. I talked about this on my Instagram story, and they were so stinking cute. They would come up to us at all our meals trying to get food because they're probably starving. And this little guy, Cheez-It, because he's orange and white, we named him Cheez-It. He, she, whatever, tried to get our food at our last night at our private dinner, and we were like, Cheez-It came to join us. And she was moving around. I tried to get a picture on my camera, and so it's this like blurry picture of Cheez-It, and I love it so much. Okay, other favorites of January. I thought it'd be fun to do like favorite drink, favorite thing I ate, favorite show, movie, all of that. I got really into cappuccinos in January. I had like several cappuccinos from Starbucks and other places, and I just really liked those. So that was nice. Favorite thing I ate, I didn't have like a particular food item that I was really into, I would say. I loved all the food in our honeymoon. Justin cooked these amazing turkey burgers literally last week. He took bell peppers and put them into the actual turkey that he was cooking for the burgers. And I don't know, something about it was so good. We had those 2 nights in a row, and I was like craving it all day when I was at Clinical, knowing that I was gonna get the turkey burger again. So that was definitely a highlight food item of January. Favorite show this month? Well, we are trying to get through New Girl. That is probably my favorite show of all time. It's up there with Gilmore Girls and Jane the Virgin. Those are some of my favorite shows ever. And so we're in season 4 of New Girl. One of our goals as a couple is to finish season 4 of New Girl this month because, you know, so important. We have to make it a goal to actually do it. But I have also been getting into Only Murders in the Building. I really like it. I'm still on season 1, so trying to work my way through it, but that's been one of my favorite shows personally. Favorite movie this month? We actually watched several movies. We watched Finding Dory, which is so random. We just really saw so many fish on our honeymoon. We're like, I want to watch Finding Nemo and Finding Dory because we've seen all these fish. So weird, but we watched Finding Dory like right when we got home from our honeymoon. It was really cute. We also went to go see Boys in the Boat, the rowing movie, in theaters because Justin used to row in college, and that was really sweet for him to see that, and it was really good. We also saw Murder Mystery 2. I think it's an Amazon Prime movie. It has, I don't remember the actors, but a lot of famous people. That was decent. And then we also saw, James Bond. We watched Skyfall. We have weirdly been getting into James Bond movies, and we just watched Casino Royale last night, which is Daniel Craig's first appearance as James Bond. And we need to finish it tonight because we have a little bit of it left, but we've been very into James Bond. So I think that would actually be my top. I really liked Skyfall. Favorite like creator, podcast, all of that kind of stuff. Just this past week have been listening to Michelle Reed's What's Next podcast. And I have only followed Michelle for a few years now, but she's been on YouTube forever, and she's a big name in like Christian lifestyle YouTube. She is so lovely. Her videos are so peaceful and amazing, but she's been on maternity leave the past couple months, and so I'm like missing her content so much, and I've never listened to her podcast. So I just found her podcast while working out one day and listened to it. The episodes are pretty old. They're like from 2022 because she hasn't uploaded a new episode since then, but her stuff is so great, and I really liked listening to the podcast like more back when she was early married. I think her and her husband Aiden got married in 2020, and so it's just been sweet to like watch those old videos and see like her newlywed vlogs and just kind of learn from her. I think she's just really awesome, and I love her stuff. Okay, I think that's a good stopping point with reflecting on January. We're gonna move on to the February portion of this month. I am actually really excited about February. I really love February. It's probably because I didn't grow up in an area that is cold at all. I'm from Houston, Texas, so opposite of that. But I'm not used to like freezing winters. We live in North Carolina, so our winters are really mild. This winter especially has been very mild, so it's not like miserable cold. So I feel for you if you are in a really, really cold climate and having a rough winter. I'm sorry. But that definitely helps when you're not dealing with that. And so I'm really excited for February. I love pink and Valentine's. And even when I was single, I still loved Valentine's, like just celebrating love and things like pink and purple and just happy and fun and sweet. And so I am excited, but of course being married makes Valentine's extra special. And yeah, I just think it's a really sweet, fun, like full feeling month. I am also having some friends over for a little Galentine's get together, just girls from my small group this upcoming Friday, which I think will be really fun and just good to like have intentional girl hangout time. And I've got a conference I'm going to at the end of the month. We have some fun double dates, like just a lot of really sweet plans. We went ice skating like I mentioned last night. So just a really fun month. I'm really looking forward to it. I wanted to talk about my goals and like intentions and everything for the month. So overall, my word for the month is going to be savor. I really set out at the beginning of this year to pick 2 words for every month because my idea for 2024 was to focus on the concept of duality and how 2 things can exist at the same time. Like you can be happy and sad at the same time. I know it's cliche, but I really feel like I need to work on that and not just really catastrophizing and taking my emotions and being like, oh my goodness, I'm sad right now, so I'm gonna be sad the next 7 days, like freaking out about it. Like, no, you can be doing really well in life and feeling really fulfilled and content and joyful, and also like have a moment of sadness or a week or a day of sadness. Like, that's okay. They can coexist and you're not going to die. Like, calm down, you know? So my words for February were gonna be savor and nourish. And now, the more I think about it, I love the word savor, and I think savor is going to be my word for the whole year. So, I don't know, we're playing around with that, but those are kind of our intentional focuses of the month, if you will. And then I broke up my goals into separate categories. So, word by category, I've got 8 different categories, and we'll start with spiritual. I actually wrote them on this little sheet that you guys saw some B-roll footage of, I think, where I just wrote out all of the goals, and I actually put it in my laminator, which was really fun. So, we'll start with spiritual, and I'll just read it straight from here. I have tape on it because it's going to go on our fridge. But my spiritual goals are to keep up with daily scripture reading. And I are trying to read through the Bible in the year, as you guys know. I will get in the pattern where I like do it for a couple days and then I skip a couple days and I have to catch up. I definitely have like 2 or 3 days to catch up on today. Catch up during our workout or just tomorrow on our drive to clinical. And then my second goal is to make a prayer wall. So before we got married, I had a prayer wall in my closet and I had a lot of prayers for my future husband in there and like about meeting him and stuff. Obviously now that I'm married, those aren't super relevant. So I want to take those down and put up all of our prayers that we had submitted at our wedding. We had this beautiful prayer wall where people put prayer requests, which we actually haven't opened yet, and I feel really bad about it. We just haven't gotten to it yet, and I want it to be a really intentional time where we sit down for an hour and like open all the envelopes and actually pray over them. We really need to get on that, so that's like why it's on this goals list for this month. And I also have on here to pray about Lent and fasting. Our church is going into a sermon series about fasting, and I just have kind of a traumatic, if you will, history with fasting where I just get very triggered when okay, I think I was talking about Lent and fasting. Basically, I just want to really pray about fasting and about Lent before our church goes into the series and throughout the series, because having a history of an eating disorder, I just get triggered, if you will, don't love that word, but whatever, when pastors really focus on fasting from food. So I have nothing against the practice of fasting. It's very legitimate, obviously, but when the focus is on food fasting, I just like, I'm not going to be someone who ever fasts from food because I don't want to trigger my eating disorder. And yeah, I don't know. I really trust my pastors though, and our church to like approach the topic well. And I really trust the pastor who they're getting the study from. So I think it'll be really good, but I am a little apprehensive about it. And so I just want to like intentionally pray about that. So that is on my list of spiritual goals. For personal goals, my first one is to work on speaking kindly to myself. It is a hard one. I just feel like lately the way that I'm talking to myself in my head is really impacting how I see myself, my self-confidence, how I interact with Justin, my relationship with God. Like I really feel like it's impacting a lot, and so I want to work on that. Second personal goal, these are like very random. Some are deep, like the one I just mentioned, but my second one is to learn to make bread. My friend Elise has a starter for me, a sourdough starter that I'm gonna go pick up from her hopefully soon and learn to make bread. Justin and I really want to make some bread together. Third one is to take more pictures and video clips, which is funny because I feel like I do that a lot, but the past month or so I really haven't taken that many pictures. And I think part of it's because 1, phone was off on the honeymoon. 2, I'm just really busy right now with school and clinical, and I don't have my phone. I'm not going to be like taking pictures while I'm in the clinic, like obviously not, but I want to be more intentional of taking cute clips and pictures and stuff when Justin and I are just doing fun things. So gonna work on that. Third category is relational, and the first one is something that I'm working on in Justin and I's relationship, and that is pausing between stimulus and response and just kind of overall working on my reactivity, which is one of my yearly goals. And I just can get activated quickly and triggered and kind of assume the worst of him in situations where that's just really not fair, because I know his character. Like if he says something that I take a certain way, that's not how he meant it, but I didn't really pause to like think about, is that how he meant it, or am I just assuming that he's the bad guy? So working on that. Next one is daily text responding time, because I got into a better rhythm with responding to texts on time, and then I got out of it very quickly. So I want to take some time, like 10 minutes at the end of the day, just to respond to most of my texts, some of them. I don't know, y'all, I just get a huge mental block against responding to people. Like if I am not in the emotional kind of space to respond to their question, I just put it off, and now I have like 20 texts to respond to right now. So need to do that. My third one for relational is to finish our name change forms. I have my newly named box that I showed you guys, and I need to actually fill it out. So that's important. Fourth category is health, and the first is to start and stick with a half marathon training plan. So Today is actually day 1 of training for a half marathon at the end of April. I'm not gonna give a ton of detail on it just because I got injured last year and had to back out of one after sharing about it a lot on social media, and I just felt kind of embarrassed after, even though that wasn't my fault. So I think I might be a little bit more private about the half marathon. I haven't really decided yet, but I need to sign up for it officially tonight, and I think I'm gonna vlog like my journey, if you will, of training for my second half marathon and have some sort of vlog about that later on after it's over. My second one in health is to stay consistent with strength training, which is part of the overall half marathon training plan, but my first half that I ran 2 years ago, I really focused on just getting my miles in, which is the #1 priority with training for a race. Strength training makes a huge difference, so I really don't want to skimp on it. I want to get 4 strength training sessions in a week, like 2 upper body, 2 lower body, and kind of alternate it, and then have my 5th workout day just be the long run. So that's the plan right now. We'll see how it goes. And then the third one in this health category is to keep my daily greens. So I take athletic greens, and it has been awesome. I'm just not super consistent about it. I've been better in January, but I'm gonna be like hitting every day in February. 5th category is home, so I have update our bedroom as the first, and that just means like getting our new bed in, bed frame, all the things. I have my bed that we're sleeping on right now, and it's a full size, and Justin's 6'2". And we just need a bigger bed for 2 humans. So our bed frame that my family got us, my sweet aunt, is coming in on Saturday this week. Yes. And so I need to order our mattress off our registry because we have a lot of money that people gave us to our house funds, but no one bought our mattress. So we're just gonna like buy it for ourselves with wedding money. And then I need to get all our sheets and stuff on there. So that's kind of our bedroom refresh. And then the second one I actually did today, which is hang our neon sign. So that is super exciting. You guys will see that in a married routines vlog coming up later. And then the third is hang vacuum charger port. And we actually realized today that that probably won't be possible. It has to do with our laundry room. We have a Dyson vacuum, and I wanted to like hang the charger port that it goes in, but there isn't a good spot for it in the bathroom. So we're gonna go ahead and cross that one off the list. Our next category is financial, and I'm not someone who's gonna share like a bunch of finance budgeting stuff on YouTube, but I do wanna talk about it a little bit more openly. I just won't give like specific numbers and stuff, but our first one is to pay off some personal loans that we have, just to go ahead and get those out of our mind because they have a really high interest rate. The second is for me to fully invest my IRA. So I have a Roth IRA, and some of it's invested, but not all of it. And I want to like invest more of it because a lot of it's just sitting there, not growing at all. The third in this category is to actually combine our bank accounts and our credit cards. We have one shared credit card, but still 2 separate bank accounts. And it's getting confusing when I do all of our transaction review and budgeting stuff. So we would love to officially combine those this month. Okay, 2 more categories. We've got travel, and that's just to plan a April getaway trip. We are going out of town. Obviously, I mentioned my conference at the end of February, and then we're both going to a family wedding in the middle of March. And then April, we have that half marathon at the end of April. But at the beginning, I finished my semester, and I really want to go on like a little getaway weekend, like getaway cabin or camping or something like that, just the 2 of us to celebrate the end of my last semester of grad school. So I want to plan that. We also want to go ahead and plan the trip at the end of April for the half marathon, and then Justin's gonna run the marathon, so planning that out. And then we need to plan a trip to New York at the beginning of June because he's gonna run an ultra marathon. So do more travel planning over the coming months. And our last category I call business, which I'm telling myself is not silly, but one day I would love to make YouTube, social media like a true side hustle, part-time gig kind of thing. And so I am working on growth on YouTube primarily, but also Instagram, but like mostly just YouTube because I honestly forget about Instagram all the time. So I am trying to reach 700 subscribers this month on YouTube, and the way I want to get to that is still consistently uploading 2 videos a week on YouTube. I didn't do that last week, but my promise is definitely 1 video a week with the goal of 2 videos a week. So into that, I want to upload like 2 to 3 shorts per week. I've been pretty good about like 2 a week, but I would like to push myself more towards 3 or 4, but we're trying to set like a lower bar this month. Maybe I'll push myself next month, but I kind of need like the dopamine hit of actually checking off that goal this month. So we will do that because short form content, honestly, as much as I don't prefer it, it helps things grow so fast. Like I will consistently get 10 new subscribers from every short, which is awesome, and really just a really great way to bring in a new audience. So trying to brainstorm more things and not just use random clips from our wedding as shorts. So Last one on here is to post one Instagram photo dump per week, because I'm hoping that any short that I post on YouTube I can make into a reel for Instagram, and reels usually do better on Instagram. I like bringing in more people, but again, I'm not very consistent on Instagram, so I'm not really trying to like grow on there. I would like to one day. I don't know. I just love long form so much more. I love YouTube more than Instagram, and I honestly prefer to use Instagram as a photos platform, but now it's all video, just like TikTok. So anyways, I could get in my whole rant, but I just like sharing stories and pictures on Instagram, and I might just keep doing that for fun and then focus more on the growth with like short form and long form videos on YouTube. So I've been talking a long time, but that is the reset. I will go put this on our fridge in a second, and I also want to show you our bucket list that I made. This is the little bucket list. This is Justin and I's like couple bucket list. I've got ice skating, host a game night, host Galentine's, cook a fancy steak meal we're gonna do for Valentine's, double date, watch the Super Bowl, really just the halftime show. Season 4 of New Girl, finish 2 books each, make a pink flower bouquet, which I already did, go to Trader Joe's, have a no phone day, make pizza from scratch, which we're gonna do this next weekend, bake brownies with frosting, because we recently discovered we love brownies with frosting on them, kind of random, do a puzzle, and then make Valentines and boxes, like those actual craft Valentines that you can decorate and give to people and put in a little shoebox with wrapping paper. I really want to do that this weekend with my friends, so that's the plan. But yeah, this is our little bucket list. They're gonna go on our fridge along with our little meal plan for each week, which I think is just so cute and fun. And yeah, oh, last thing, I'll just show you my Notion for February. So at the end of one month or the beginning of the next, I want to update all of my tech backgrounds as well. So like computer, desktop, my phone, and iPad. So I did that this weekend. And then this is my February Notion page. I've got guiding words, savor and nourish, like I mentioned. I'm gonna put a verse of the month right there. Then I have a mood board with like 15 pictures. So just things that kind of embody how I want this next month to feel, or specific activities like game night, making these craft Valentines, making pizza, things like that. I just thought it was really cute. And of course, this is a picture of my nails, me and my husband right here, and then us ice skating last night, which is super cute. And then I have those goals I just mentioned to you guys on here. And then I've also got our friend dates, solo dates, and date nights in here. Rhythms, I've got a spot to put my favorites for February, which we will do for our March reset when we talk about how February went. And then on the schedule, yeah, that's really it. I just think it's a fun little page to get inspired about February. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. Sorry again about the quality change with the camera and phone and stuff. I feel like it just looks kind of weird on my phone, but you know what? It happens. I just really need to order some replacement batteries for my camera and memory cards, because this happens more than I would like to admit. Next month, I will show you more like Nuuly haul outfits. We just ran out of time this time, but this is actually from Nuuly. This shirt I like a lot, and then my pink puffy jacket that's probably either in the thumbnail of this video or extras on Instagram and stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Tell me down below if you do any sort of resets for the new month, what your resets look like, things like that, or anything else you want to see from my channel. And then secret emoji will be a pink heart emoji. Love you guys. Bye.